Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shalli sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul min lisani yafqahu qawli. Amma ba'd. Welcome brothers and sisters. I know it's quite a late time basically to give a talk, so I'll try to keep my presentation short and simple. You can interrupt me anytime if you need to ask questions and so on. But it needs to be in voice lah, because while I'm presenting, I'm not able to basically see the chat box. Yeah. Okay. So let me slowly start. Okay. So my name is Brother Azyril Iskandar. I am in charge of I am the coordinator for academic and coaching and also enhancement unit for CFS under basically Office of the Deputy Dean of Industrial Linkages. Okay, academic and also industrial linkages. So the topic today is about adjusting to campus life. So I know most of you are already in class. So this is already the 4th week, right? Okay. So what have you done? What you've done so far, basically, will be repeated for your second semester and also your third semester. Okay, let's look at an example so far. What you have done. Okay, and the relation to what I'm trying to basically convey to you today. Okay, so some of you are usually are using Google Classroom, some of you are using Microsoft Teams, and some of you are using other platforms lah, such as Jitsi, Google Meet, okay, Zoom, and so on. Okay, so let's take an example for my class. So this is my class. Okay, so this is my class. Basically, I am teaching right now Biology 2 for grade 8, for group 819. Okay, so I am using the platform Google Classroom. Okay, so this is what you will always get every time you start the semester. First, the lecturer or the teacher will give you their timetable. All right, and also their contact details. Okay, so here, this example here, basically given me, I have my email here, my handphone, and my room at CFS. Okay, and also your timetable lah. Okay, all right, and also accompanied with the timetable is a timeline or a course outline, right? Right. So this will be repeated every semester. All right. Whatever subject you're taking, be it in science or in arts, basically, you'll be getting a timeline or a course outline. All right. So in the case of biology, we gave a course outline and also a timeline. So if you look here, basically week 1, what you're supposed to do, the progress for week 2, week 3. So let's just see here, we are week 4. All right. So the chapters, okay, to cover on that week, and the hours allocated, all right, and also the public holidays, basically, because if there are any public holidays, the class needs to be replaced. Okay, all right, and also given, that must be given also, if you look here on the lower part, okay, are basically your assessment, basically what are your carry marks and also what are your final marks. Okay, all right, the assessment for the course. All right, so example given here, okay, assignment for one chapter is 10%, and then you have lab work at 10%, and then you biology, we have a test 30%, and okay, all of it accumulates to 50% carry marks, and another 50% is in finals. Okay, in biology, basically you the final exam will be 35 marks for MCQ and 40 marks for structure and essay, possibly around 5 to 6 essay or structure questions. Okay, so this is given basically every semester for every subject, be it math, okay, AET, IRK, HS, English, also Arabic. It doesn't matter basically. So why this is given? Okay, it concurs with the topic that I'm trying to basically discuss to you right now, which is the first one. All right, lovely. All right. First part basically is time management. Okay. All right. Okay. So in my case, since I'm actually, let me give you a little bit of introduction about what am I doing as a coordinator of ACHU basically. So academic coaching enhancement unit will provide training, motivation, and study skills for the center students. Okay. So you need to be motivated and also equipped with the knowledge and tools to master your subjects basically. Okay. So this is me. Sorry about the picture. That's an old picture about 16 years ago. All right. So my name is Azyril Iskandar Abdullah. Okay. So I liaise a lot with counseling and career service unit. Okay, to create conduct also academic enhancements program such as time management, study skills, and so on. So I'll be touching very basically the base of time management. Okay, probably not study skills of time management and also tips for how you can better manage your stay in CFS, either in online mode or basically in face-to-face mode. All right, and I need to liaise with the department, especially your academic advisors, to identify which students need academic guidance and also extra tuition classes. All right, and I will also be monitoring your performance. All right, either among low achievers, okay, for those who are basically below 2.5 or below your targeted kuliah entry requirement, okay, or the high achievers. I also monitor the high achievers, okay, just to ensure they stay on that high achieving path, lah. Okay, right? So, okay. Um, so I do also such as did a few math some clinics lah, math clinics, chemistry clinics, and a couple more coming up basically for next semester. Okay, all right, right. So the first part we really talked about is about time management. Since you are entering kuliah, okay, and also CFS. All right. So CFS is your stay in CFS is quite short. It's only 1 year. All right. So we need to impart all the knowledge that we have. Okay. Quite in quite a short time. Okay, basically. Okay. Times has changed. Basically, you adapt better. Okay, compared to us in our time. All right. So you need to schedule your time and increase your productivity. Okay. So that is why you are given basically the timeline. So you can schedule your time. All right. So how much should you study? Okay. Actually, there is no hard rule basically, but there is a guideline by the ministry and also a standard in the world basically. All right. So the old maximum of 2 hours for each hour of class time, okay, is quite unrealistic and even unnecessary for most students. Okay. What does it mean basically? Let's just say uh, you taking one subject 2 hours today, so means you have to study another to back up basically your classes. You need to study another 2 hours. Do one to one. All right. So experiment in order to find the amount of study time appropriate to meet your needs. Okay, as a rough guideline, okay, you need to spend at least 30 to 35 hours per week in academic activity, meaning your classes, lab, and also studying. Okay, seems a lot. Okay, but when you break it down in a week, it doesn't seem much basically. Okay, so let's just consider when you make your time schedule. All right, so consider this. You have 168 hours a week. All right, and you have 56 hours of sleep. That's quite generous. Considering that 7 hours a day. So let's just say you sleep at 10:30. Usually students sleep late. Then you wake up around 5:30 before subuh prayers. All right. And then you have 21 hours of eating. Why is it gluttonous kat sini? Okay, that's 3 hours. Okay, of eating a day, per day. Okay. Meaning breakfast, lunch, and also dinner, 3 hours. Okay. And 20 hours of attending class and also labs. Okay, that's 20 hours a week. Okay, let's just say it's 5 hours a day of classes. Okay, that will actually leave you 71 hours a week, or basically 10 hours a day for study. So you have to actually 10 hours a day for study. Okay, recreation and also everything else lah. Okay, so how you use these remaining hours, of course, will impact how well you perform in your studies. Okay, so you need to consider making a schedule in studying. The time schedule basically frees you from making top level decisions constantly. Okay, allowing you to make the best use of your time. Okay, and also as stated in Surah basically Al-As, basically, I swear by time, most surely man is in loss, except for those who believe and do good and enjoin on each other truth and also enjoin on each other patience. All right, and also another surah which is quite good, basically Surah Al-Balad. The first verse is basically, verily, we created man to toil. To toil is basically to struggle. Okay, if you are basically struggling, meaning you are basically living the way Allah wanted you to be, basically. Okay, as a man also in basically the ummah. Okay, so self-management basically is managing your life more effectively. Okay, so you could be much more happier and being able to basically do more things, okay, in your life. Okay, so all right, a quality 1 hour study basically is studying for 45 minutes. Okay, there's a science to it. There's a paper for this one, and break 50 minutes. Okay, so this is your own study. Usually in my class, my lecture, I usually teach around 20 to 25 minutes when I do face-to-face classes, and I have a break of 5 minutes, because there is a study that shows your brain only concentrates, okay, 20 to 25 minutes before your senses and also your concentration starts to lower down. So I always have this 5 minute break lah when I have face-to-face classes. Okay, online is no such thing lah. If I basically I take 5 minute break in online classes, everybody might log out and go somewhere else. Okay, not in front of me during online classes. So online classes is a bit different. We throw a lot of basically notes and also facts. Okay, as basically in a quite a fast pace, and because we record the video and you can watch it over and over again later on. Okay, so your brain needs sufficient oxygen. Okay, do some stretching exercise. After 45 minutes of studying, you take a break basically. All right. Okay, and also food for brain. Also, you can eat raisins, nuts, and so on. If you find it comforting. Okay, to take a break. Okay, another method that is quite good also is to have a timer when you study. Okay, you can just use a stopwatch on your phone, or you can have a smartwatch basically to remind you basically to sit up. So because it's not good basically to sit more than 1 hour, okay, in a sitting position, okay, because it's not good for your back basically. So a smartwatch basically usually has a reminder of 1 hour. You need to get up, basically stretch a little bit, and then continue to do whatever you're doing. Okay, so how do you manage your time? Okay, first, the easiest is to use a planner. Okay, keep track of how you use your time. Okay, get a weekly schedule. Okay, a weekly planner. Okay, for your quizzes. Okay, a tutorial, assignments, and so on. Okay, take note of course online. So that is in CFS, you are given already. Okay, in anywhere in basically university, they usually give the course outline. So it's stated already when is your assignment starting, when is your assignment due, when is your first quiz, your tutorials, and your exam, so on. So you have this data basically, okay, with you already every time you start semester. Okay, so try to avoid marathon studies and cramming basically the night before exam. Okay, so this is basically you basically are spotting certain chapters basically. Sometimes you might hit it, sometimes you might not. Okay, so don't try to take that risk lah. Okay, so plan time wisely, consistent study throughout the semester. Okay, So when you consistently study, okay, you can avoid stress during your exams. Okay, make to-do list. Okay, no priorities. Go into priorities. Priorities, there's a table basically. Okay, the most important one, the least important. Okay, so you sort everything. Okay, depending on the priorities. All right. So to weigh which one is up to you. Okay, but there is a guideline. So in order for you to know better, yeah, another few more of my courses lah, which I will be doing probably later on. Okay. Okay, and this is most important. You need to learn to say no. Maybe it's fun to go out, but not all the time. Okay, you have to make those choices. Basically, you yourself have to make your choices. So the rule of thumb is always to plan ahead by working backwards. Okay, so what can you use as your planner? You can download from basically Google Play Store. There's a lot of weekly planners. You can even use the existing one in your phone. Okay, such as the Google Calendar you can use, but Google Calendar basically does not have a reminder, SMS reminder anymore. Before this, it has a SMS reminder. Nowadays, it only notifies you through email. Okay, so it's not that practical. Okay, so you can use download such as this one I'm giving you right now, a weekly planner. A weekly planner, it can be downloaded in Play Store. Okay, and it's free. Okay, or some people basically prefer the normal planner. Okay, the one that's printed one, so you can basically post it at your locker. Okay, so many types of basically weekly planner, okay, available on the internet. You can just download and print. Okay, or if you like the ones, the fancy ones, you can basically go to MPH or bookstores to buy. Okay, it's quite cheap every year. Okay, so there are some basically are quite more detailed top 5 lists to do for your daily routine. There is also a daily planner. Okay, if you want to, so if you look here basically, okay, need to drink 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 glasses a day. Okay, what do I do early morning, mid morning, and afternoon? So it's up to you basically. There's so many options available. Choose what's best for you that fits you with your convenience lah. Okay, all right. So here are some tips basically to save time and also stop procrastinating. You need to write down your ideas. This is basically always a mistake that people do. You have great ideas sometimes, but if you don't write it down, okay, you won't remember basically. So do not trust your memory, however good it might be. Make a list. Okay, easiest basically you can use the notepad in your phone. Okay, to do lists and so on. Okay, they basically when you do this list, you write it down on a piece of paper or you put it in your notepad. Okay, they free up your mind for concentration on the now. Okay, rather than the later. Okay, so when you concentrate too much, when you think too much about the later, okay, you will have worry about the later. Okay, so you're gonna be worrying too much. Okay, so you need to concentrate on now, so they can help you clarify what's most important and what needs to be done today, okay, or tomorrow. Okay, so the act of crossing off accomplished tasks basically is reinforcing. Your brain basically feeds on this. You dah buat, you ada achievement. Basically, you think, I've achieved this today. So it motivates you to complete other additional tasks on your list. Okay, it creates positivity within yourself. All right. So it's good to basically, I see a lot of good students basically, they set their priorities first thing in the morning, or sometimes, okay, they set it the night before. They have a look at their daily tasks, okay, or their planner, what am I supposed to do tomorrow, so on, so on, so on. Okay, lunch what time, and so on, and so on. Okay, so they plan ahead, okay, make it a habit basically. All right, good students, usually they plan ahead. Okay. So you need to use your high productivity hours for your ace and also king projects. Sometimes you have main projects, example, AED students, right? You have your final year projects, okay, or you have your drawing, right? That consumes a lot of your time. Okay, so that is your ace or king projects. Okay, find the time that you are most productive and concentrate, okay, on those main projects. So basically you need to set your priorities, and of course this is a common mistake, including me, is do not overschedule. Okay, you have to be realistic. Okay, all right, tackle time consuming projects in stages. That's why, as given at my timeline just now, right? I have assignment. We do first week, what we have a progress for first week, second week, third week, and so on. All right, because we try to tackle, okay, time-consuming projects in stages, or we break it up in small stages. All right. So of course, do not forget you need to also delegate your time for your family. Okay, sometimes you have wanna chill out with your roommates. Okay, okay, and the other things that you want, or you are capable of doing. Okay, so the distribution of time just now is given already. 10 hours a day you're free basically, to study, exercise, relax. Okay, right. All right, so you need to also institute a quiet time in your day, preferably in the morning, to think effectively. So this is good lah, especially when you're doing your solat kan. Okay, solat for subuh prayers, okay, and try to concentrate on one item at a time. Okay, not all of us are multitaskers. Guys, usually brothers, usually are basically a one item tasker, while females, basically sisters, are more of a multitasker. Okay, so try to get to know your strength and also weaknesses. Okay, all right. So this is quite important. So number 9, okay, plan to have lunch with friends periodically. Okay, or do something recreational together. Okay, so because once you enter basically mahala, okay, it can sometimes feel lonely, especially when you have a lot of classes and so on. Okay, and then you have a high stress environment. Okay, you're so far with your family. Some of you not used to basically staying in hostels. Okay, you get lonely. Okay, so you need basically friends basically. Communicate. Don't keep everything to yourself. Okay, if you need help and so on, you can always find career and counseling unit. Okay, the counselors are always ready basically to help you out. Okay, all right, just try not to be lonely, because since basically you also know, since basically the pandemic came up, basically there's a lot basically of people who are going through depression, or being lonely or being isolated so long. So we don't want that to happen to you, especially with your stay in Center for Foundation Studies. Okay. All right. So number 10, what it says here, you can use low productivity hours for easy to do projects, or you can do casual readings. Okay. Does not mean basically your relaxing time you can't make it basically productive. Okay. Simple tasks. Okay. Probably you need to highlight some notes. Okay. So easy that one. You just go through the notes and highlight. So that's considered a low productivity task. All right. So what are the tips for getting top grades? Okay, especially in IIUM. So what I am giving you now basically is an established study during 2010. It's quite an old paper, but it's still, I think it's still relevant until today. Okay, so this tip basically, okay, is done by Claude W. Olney, okay, and JD. Where there's a will, there's an A. Okay. Okay, so because students sometimes get so caught up in the details of studying, okay, you forget the obvious. Okay, okay, so this seminar, where there's a will, there's a study. Okay, here are some suggestions to help you improve your college performance. There's a lot basically. I'll give you some of it already. Only, not a lot. Basically, some that I think is relevant to your stay in CFS. Okay, so let's look at the first one. You need to preview instructors. Okay, students who have been there before would know the good teachers. Okay, I see a lot of my students also doing that also. They always find, this math teacher, I studied with her or him or her before this. Quite interesting. Okay. Ask and you shall find. Okay. Try to sit in on classes and check out instructors for yourself before signing up. Okay. Signing up means basically this is for kuliah. Over here in CFS, your class is already fixed what you'll be taking that semester. Okay. But it does not mean basically you can't consult other lecturers or teachers if you need some clarification. There is nothing wrong with that. Okay, you can check, ask other teachers and lecturers if you need some clarification. Okay, not necessarily from your own lecturers. Okay, can be done also. It's not a problem. Okay, okay. A good practice is to buy textbook before the class begins. That's why we always sell notes during the first week and also textbook. Okay, so some of you basically can buy from the seniors. Okay, but just check if the notes or textbook is relevant. Okay, usually, okay, a textbook version will only last for 2 years. Let's just say, for biology, the current one is biology Campbell Biology 12th edition. All right, so it is still okay to use 11th edition, the old one. Okay, the old version, 11, not so much the 10th version. Okay, because all these textbooks are usually updated every 2 years. Okay, so you need to find out basically from your lectures. Okay, get a jump start by getting to the text and reading the first 50 pages or so before the class. Okay, you sometimes do not need to understand, but try to capture all the terms, okay, and concepts. Okay, all right, Majid. Okay, so you understand those few weeks better, and you may discover you really like reading, basically. Okay, about the subject once the onus of assigned work is basically lifted. Okay, because in basically university, brothers and sisters, if you don't like to read, you're in big trouble. Okay, you need to read basically, a lot of materials. Okay, so find basically interesting ways basically to make your notes more chirpy or basically more fancy lah. That's why you can see some people, they bookmark, okay, they put pointers, they highlight, okay. But usually I see students sometimes when they highlight, it's as if they're highlighting the whole page. Okay, might as well you just color the whole page, fluorescent. Okay, so you need to highlight the main points. Okay, next, you need to pour in on the first 2 weeks. Okay, the first 2 weeks basically, usually, when you start basically semester, the first 2 weeks basically is the easiest chapter. Okay, overstudy to get off to a great start, basically. Okay, usually introduction to this, basics of this, basics of that. So it's the easy part, basically. You attack that one first. Okay, so when you do your quiz or your test, basically, you begin with A's on quizzes or assignments, you get a taste of success. Okay, this will build up confidence and keep you power throughout the semester. Yeah, so it's always good to first attack the first 2 weeks. Okay, before you start to go to the end of semester where you start to have all the heavy topics. Okay. Okay, and this is quite important. You do not never miss a class. Try to not miss a class unless it's unavoidable. Okay, because good attendance pays. All he says basically, and observe, okay, of his students. A student on the average, okay, A students, sorry, A students on the average miss class less than one class per 45 class per semester. Okay. Okay, so in CFS, if I'm not mistaken, we have around 70 times of class, I think. Yeah, around 70 hours of class, sorry. Okay, there's a minimum that you cannot basically miss class more than 5 hours per semester. Okay, or you will be barred from the final exams. Okay, so an A student rarely miss, okay, less than one class. Okay, let's just say one class is 2 hours. Okay, they rarely miss. From 45, while the C students were out more than 4 classes in the same semester. Okay, so if it's 2 hour classes, Okay, so that's 8 hours. They miss 8 hours basically of classes already. Okay, so a lot to catch up basically. Okay, but the blessing is with COVID basically you have some basically subjects they offer recorded materials, right? So you can see and so on and so on. Okay, but it's not the same because you're so used to one lecturer, right? Teaching you in one way, and videotape basically recorded videos ni. Some lecturers have a lower tone, some lecturers have different styles. So you have to see mixed styles. It's a bit confusing sometimes, but you can adapt. But it's a bit confusing basically when you have different types of styles of teaching. Okay, all right. So it's best to have one lecturer to have all the videos teaching you. Okay. Okay, you can also record if you want to, since you're doing online, right? Okay. All right, so practice taking tests to improve your performance. Okay, check out the school bookstore internet. Okay, there is a lot of material. Okay, I know some of your lecturers are using quizzes, including me. Okay, some are using other platforms such as Khan Academy. Okay, some are using I can't recall right now. Basically, there's a lot of platforms basically, right? You also know this basically. So some are basically paced learning. They show you video, then you have to answer questions. Okay, like such a quizzes. Sometimes they give you assignments, watch a video, and then basically answer the questions. Okay, and then answer the quiz. No limit to the quiz. You can retry as many times as you want. Some do that basically. Okay, but the most important thing here basically, once you have studied, you need to test yourself. Okay, what level am I at? Okay, in terms of the subject matter of the content. Okay, so how do you know? You're going to test. Okay, so you need to improve your performance. So you test. Nampak tak tempat mana yang you missing and so on. Okay, so you can basically strengthen basically your knowledge on the subject. Okay, so the more practice you practice, the better you'll do basically in the finals. Okay, so you need to also practice memory strategies. Okay, sometimes the strategies that you did in school might not be so good when you're going to kuliah and also in CFS. You have to adapt basically and start to change your strategies. Okay, so there is a type of strategy we call independent learning and also basically independent and dependent learning. Okay, but basically in kuliah, once you go university, it's more of an independent learning. Independent learning. So you have to study your own and then do small study groups just to get, okay, just to get what you are missing. Okay, sometimes when you study yourself, you think that you know. When you go to group studies for a short while, you find out, oh, I thought I knew this part. Okay, I'm missing some things. Okay, so it's quite good to do group studies. Okay, you can do it also online, right? Google Meet and so on for discussion. Okay, all right. So this one, the next one, basically, yeah. If money is a problem, okay, you need to find student loans. Okay, in CFS, there are a couple of student loans. You have the Mahala Endowment Fund. You have basically the Zakat Fund. Okay, all right. Being an Islamic institution, we have a lot of funds basically that can be secured by students who are eligible. Okay, and it's open every semester, if I'm not mistaken, or every starting of semester. Okay, since you came in basically semester 2, okay, find out at the Mahala office, go to the Mahala office if you have money problems. Because I understand basically this part basically, okay, you need to have at least, okay, at least 300 ringgit a month to survive lah, because you need to buy food and so on once you enter basically the Mahala. Okay, 300 is very thin lah, nipis lah ni. Okay, makan basic je lah, janji kenyang. Maknanya salah satu menu tu you have to uh, go nasi bajet lah. Okay, kenyang juga. Okay, okay, student life macam tu lah, brothers and sisters. Okay, so you can study more and work at outside job less, because when you start doing something else besides studying, nanti you will lose focus. Okay, so settle this one, money problem, yeah. Okay, if you have this part of problem, I understand this is very common. Okay, can be basically overcome. Okay, you can abstain student loans. So find out mahalah and so on. They will help you out. Okay. Okay. So mark what you don't know instead of what you know. Okay. Sorry, mark what you don't know. Ini key dia selalunya kat sini. Yang you tak tahu, you mark dulu. Okay, bukan apa yang you tahu, what you know. Okay, when you study chapters in your textbooks. Because I see sometimes students, I also been there. Okay, you masuk study group, you start to talk what you know. Okay, bila things that you don't know, you become defensive. Oh, I know this already. Yeah. Okay, the truth is you don't know. Okay, so always remember, you can overcome basically what you don't know. Okay, so find out what you don't know more than what you know. Okay, so what you know, you can refresh anytime. You don't know, you have to study a little bit more. Okay, and try to stay fit and eliminate bad habits. Okay, late night sleeping. Okay, of course, when you are in campus, basically there's a lot of facilities that you can use. Okay, but the best is basically walking lah. Since the campus also, you'll be walking all day long, going up and down from mahalah to basically classes. Okay, and try to stay fit and eliminate bad habits. You get more out of your college if you feel good, right? You don't want to get sick. Okay, while you're studying. Okay, and lastly, basically, okay, when you target something, basically you must target to the highest lah. Okay, don't take that lower than hope for grade. Dapat C cukup lah. Okay, all right. So, okay, at face value, fight for the closest ones. Let's just say you kira you punya carry marks. You counted your carry marks. Let's just say your assessment is 50% carry marks. Your final, I'm gonna put final F here lah. Final is 50%. Okay, you can calculate basically your marks actually. You know already. Let's just say you didn't do well in your carry marks. Test you rendah sikit. Let's just say in sini you dapat around 20. Let's say you get 30 lah here. Okay, you get 30. You lost 20% there basically. Probably you didn't do well in your test. You're sick, so on. Okay, so final basically. Okay, to get an A just now, dia kata kena 80%. Betul? To get an A. Okay, it is not realistic for you to score your final 100%. Okay, you have to be optimistic lah. Okay, it's not optimistic basically. Okay, 50, 50, 60, 70, 80 kan. Okay, so takkan you nak target A juga, you realistic. Okay, okay, fight for the closest one. Okay, so you can target basically A minus. Okay, so A minus is 75 to 79. 75 to 79. So it seems more logical basically kat sini. Alright. Okay, you get what I mean? If you can't do it after you try, I'm so weak, I can't. You go to the closest one. You go basically down to B plus. B plus here. Okay, but always fight basically for the closest grade that you can get. Okay, there's a way for you to calculate. That is why in the timeline or your course outline is given you punya carry marks and also your final punya marks tu, so you can calculate early. Okay, lecturers have to give out the carry marks 1 week after the class. Just you can start carry mark and publish to the students. Okay, 1 week after your semester finishes. All right, so you have basically 12 weeks, right? Right, so after 12 weeks, basically, carry marks have to be basically kira sebelum you ambil finals. Okay, before you take your. Okay. Alright. Alright, so that's the gist lah what I'm trying to tell. First thing, you need to have good time management. Okay, it is more imperative, especially when you are at home kan, kat rumah kan. Sometimes I do in class pun tengok tengah jaga adik. Okay, ada yang tengah kat kedai, ada dalam kereta balik kampung. Okay, on the way, yeah. So sometimes you cannot avoid it because your family wants to balik kampung, so you have to follow. Okay, but you need to catch up lah. Sorry sir, I can't go to class. I can't attend video class today sir. I'm on the way balik kampung. Okay, you just tell your lecturer, Okay, I'll basically watch the video later on. Okay, when I get to my kampung. Okay, so you need to do that catching up. I know it's quite hard basically going online. Most of you prefer to come back to campus. Okay, even your earlier batch, your batch lah basically, and the one that came first semester, they don't like basically online classes. They prefer to do it face to face. Okay, so I understand, but during this pandemic, of course lah, we have constraints. It's okay. Okay, I know basically most of your lecturers are very attentive, and they will try to help you out. Okay, so the first one is time management. Okay, ways to save basically time, and also just now is the tips basically to basically get grade A. Yeah? So preparation is quite important basically. All right. All right, so I am at the end of basically my presentation. So all the best basically. I hope to see you back in CFS lah. If not this semester, hopefully the other semester, next semester. Okay, so with that, I open basically questions that if you want to ask any questions. Okay, so are there any questions that would you like to ask? Okay, so ada feedback ke sedikit? So far you online since you baru masuk kan? How is your online classes? It's quite still early, fourth week, 6 to 7th week, you will start to have your test. Semua orang akan ada test yang pada time yang lebih kurang sama. Itu crunch time basically, So make sure you study early, Okay, start buat soalan latihan, okay, early. Okay. So any questions so far? Inshallah. I hope the best for you. I know it's a challenging time also. Okay, if there are none, basically, I will pass it back to the MC lah. All right, so thank you very much. Anything, if you can, do you need help, you can email me. My name just now, Azyril, Azyril @iium.edu.my. Okay. All right, you can email me for any questions on. If you need basically materials for this talk, basically, I have a summary of it and also some posters lah for time management and ways to overcome, ways to basically save time, and also tips for top grade. I have copies of it in PDF, so I can give it to you lah if you just email me a request. Right? So thank you very much. I'll pass it to the MC by again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.